This question is asking a very specific thing. So just make sure you are really focused on that as you read, especially because it's a poem. So you're like, okay, I'm very confused by poems. So you just try to focus on the right thing so you don't have to worry about details that are irrelevant. So what way is the human mind like a flower? So how is the human mind like a flower? Let's see. As a fragile and lovely flower unfolds its gleaming foliage on the breast of the fostering earth, if the dew and the rain draw it forth, so doth my tender mind, so mind, just as the flower does this, my tender mind flourishes, if it be fed with the sweet dew of the fostering spirit. Lacking this, it beginneth straightway to languish, even as a floweret born upon dry earth, if the dew and the rain tend it not. So the mind needs dew and rain, right? Or it's gonna wilt, I guess. Yeah, dew and rain, right? Sweet dew, right? So it needs dew. So how is the mind like a flower? Needs dew. It becomes increasingly vigorous with the passage of time. Maybe, but it doesn't have anything to do with dew, so probably not. B, it draws strength from changes in the weather. Okay, but what kinds of changes? The changes that have more dew or less dew, right? It's not specific about what those changes are. C, it requires proper nourishment in order to thrive. Well, what could the nourishment be? Could it be the dew? Maybe, right? It says it's foster means grow, flourish means grow. So we have a lot of words that talk about growing if it gets the dew and the rain, right? So that sounds like the answer. Let's look at D. It perseveres despite challenging circumstances. No, it's saying if it doesn't get the dew, it dies. So it doesn't persevere. It dies. So yeah, I wish they would have said the word dew or something similar to that. But nourishment, okay, fine. Think of it, it's a flower, right? Dew is water that's kind of left on the flower after like nighttime. And so they're talking about water. Flowers need water. The mind needs water, but it's not really water. It's an analogy. It's a metaphor. So what's some equivalent? Well, nourishment, right? The thing that kind of makes it grow. So it's a metaphor. It's not exact, but it's clearly the same idea, right? It needs something to sustain its growth. That's what they're saying here. And they're just kind of changing the words slightly in the choices, but it's definitely something that's very obvious that we can pull out of the poem as we're reading it. So the poem is confusing, but it's not inscrutable. You have to be able to kind of notice when they're repeating ideas and just pull out that one thing that you're supposed to. And the question is very specific here. So focus on the question to make sure you're looking for the right thing as you read the poem.